It is a month since Donald Trump took office in the US for his second term. I think it's fair to say plenty's happened in that time, both domestically and around the world in terms of US policy. Let's listen to some of the main points.
I was saved by God to make America great again.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work.
Drill, baby, drill.
DEI would have ruined our country, and now it's dead. I think DEI is dead. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip. I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East.
Air Force One is currently in international waters for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America.
Wow,
Yeah.
He did that well. Elon called me. He said, you know, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. What I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state.
I think I have the power to end this war. But today I heard, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it.
A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move. That's a big one, huh?
So there's been outrage in the US and elsewhere to some of the things that Donald Trump has said and done. But what do the people who put him in the White House think themselves? Duke Machado is in Texas. Thank you so much to all of you for being with us on OS. Duke Machado in Texas, are you happy?
I'm thrilled, excited, as the two mentioned, of course, closing the border, which is real. I'm in Texas, so it affects my state tremendously. And not just closing the border, but deporting the criminals, rounding them up all over, the murderers, the rapists, the gang cartels, all these guys are being deported. I love how Trump negotiated Mexico and Canada into bringing their military to enforce their borders as well. So, people laughed at his tariff tactic, but it's just a tool to negotiate. With the Doge, I love it. They've already found $55 billion in waste. That's money that the taxpayers will get to use for more important things. And I would say also the big win is getting all the nominees in place. Defense Secretary, Homeland. I mean, all of these people, even RFK Jr., Pam Bondi for Attorney General. These are all positions that we need in place in order to fulfill the promises. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Why do you think, that's interesting, why do you think these individuals that other folks have such concerns about, the sort of qualifications, suitability for the roles, why are you right behind them?
Because we've seen what corrupt people do in those positions, the way they attacked Donald Trump, the way they used lawfare against him, the way they came after churches, the way they used the IRS to attack, just regular people speaking at school board meetings and things like that. We were already seeing what happens when bad people take those positions. So we feel very comfortable in his selections, and we know that they have America's interest in mind, not their corrupt politician. And, a lot of these people were even using USAID money to battle Trump and to battle other conservative candidates and things like that. So, I mean, they're bad. They needed to go. I'm glad they're out, and I feel really good about the new team in place.
Duke Machado in Texas. I mean, I guess what we're seeing are the terms of real estate deals that Donald Trump is used to doing being the principles now for international diplomacy, which is something we've never ever seen before. Might be good, might be bad. It's certainly new.
Oh, I think, like Marcia said, is basically it's a paradigm shift. It's getting people to shift their mentality of, this is just a territory of bloodshed and constant war versus a potentially peaceful, beautiful place to live. And I think that's what his purpose is to create that shift. But I want to go back to what you were talking about, Zelensky in Ukraine.
Sure.
Trump did visit with Zelensky, and they talked about where all the money is. And Zelensky doesn't know where half of it is. And, Trump said, essentially that Zelensky was a semi-popular comedian, and now he's president and leader of this war. He may not be the best person for the job, but he's there. Unfortunately, he's, at the head of this thing, and there's millions of people dead. And was he really qualified? That's a good question. There's no management of our money. And should the European nation play a bigger role? You bet they should.
But until now, the US and most countries in the world have been pretty clear the responsibility for all this lies with Russia, not President Zelensky.
Well, but that, again, you go back to the U.S. That was the U.S. under a liberal, progressive leadership. That's not what America is, and that's why we voted Donald Trump back in. Those of us who are now in control of the politics and in that arena, never wanted that war to happen, and we've always felt like it's a waste of our money and efforts. We're over here suffering.
Thank you so much for joining us, to all of you. I really appreciate it. Duke Machado in Texas.